I'm Dr. David Beaulieu, and I'm back with more news you can use. And today, Ross Smith is with me, and he does the emotional freedom technique, or EFT, work for us in our office. And this is our bridge between the conscious and the unconscious when it comes to delivering optimum health care. Ross, the last time we chatted, we were talking about the amygdala in the brain. We're talking about fight or flight. Very, very important, a sympathetic nervous system response pattern. And how in our society we have lots of little stimuli to bring us into fight or flight. Unlike thousands and thousands of years ago, we would get major stimuli, like the lion chasing us for dinner, not our dinner, its dinner, and then going into this fight or flight response, where today we have multiple fight or flight responses over the course of a day and then a week and on. And these can create all kinds of interesting problems and patterns. How exactly do we deal with that from an EFT standpoint? Talk about that. One of the things I like so much about EFT is you learn the technique. You don't come back every week for 5 years talking about your problems. You go home and you deal with it directly through the tapping. Now, the tapping is mostly around the head. Can you demonstrate that for us?
I can. We talked, we talked last week about this fight or flight mechanism, and we have, let's say, just as an example, you go back to your childhood, and you have an instance where you had to get up in front of the class in the second grade. And you did something goofy, and everybody laughed at you.
I'm sorry you brought that up.
Everybody laughed at you. Maybe I should say that person. But anyway, and then that gets set up in our subconscious, and a tape starts playing. And you start saying to yourself, at a lifelong process of this tape running, that, hey, it's dangerous to get up in front of people. It's not good. And then when you're confronted with that later on, and you have maybe a presentation to do next week to your boss, or a filming like this, exactly. That amygdala runs through the files, so to speak, and it sees that, hey, this is very similar to the time you were in the second grade. You better run, buddy. There's danger here. It's not good. So what happens when you do that is, if you tap, and I'll just show you just a quick setup, if that's okay.
Yes.
What we do.
Yes.
You would tap on the karate chop while you make a statement.
Like this?
Yeah. While you make a statement about the target emotion, whatever you're feeling. In this case, it's the fear of giving a presentation next week.
All right.
I am afraid of giving a presentation.
I'm afraid of giving a presentation next week.
But I totally and completely accept myself.
Accept myself.
So that is the setup statement. So it includes the target emotion that you're trying to deal with. And then there's also an acceptance of yourself, even though you're feeling this emotion. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person because you're feeling this emotion. You still accept who you are, and everything's okay. So it's the yang and the yin, if you will. It's the negative part, the emotion that you're feeling, and then it's the positive part that kind of counteracts.
So my subconscious is holding this negative idea, and this opens the door to change.
It prepares. Yeah, it's a good way to put it. It prepares your body for what's coming up next.
All right. Okay, subconscious, here it comes.
Here it comes. Okay. So then you just go through the tapping points, and I'll show those to you while you make a little reminder statement. And this reminder statement is just a 1 or 2 word statement that kind of keeps you tuned into this emotion. Okay? So we tap right here.
I'll tell you what. Let's stop right here, because we've opened the door.
Exactly.
Now, with our next video, let's go through that tapping so that people can see how simple this is.
Perfect.
Excellent. All right, then we'll be back next week.
Okay, thanks, Doug.